Ed here with the Digital Digest, and today I wanted to share a quick unboxing and first look at the Sony Xperia Pro I. Now, this launched back in 2021. It has a retail price tag of $1,800 US, and it promises to be essentially a Sony camera user's dream smartphone. And that's because Sony took their flagship smartphone and decided to throw the kitchen sink in it, aka the 20 megapixel 1-inch sensor from the RX100 lineup. And this is something I've been waiting for the better part of a decade for Sony to do, and they finally have. So right there is the main camera that I'm talking about. It does utilize that exact same sensor found in the RX100 lineup as well as the ZV-1. However, it does not use all 20 megapixels. Instead, it uses the center 12 megapixels. And if you're scratching your head, well, I'll save that explanation for another video. But the premise here is that you're still going to get the overall characteristics and quality of that heralded sensor. However, you're not going to get all 20 megapixels that it has to offer. The other two cameras on board are also 12 megapixels. Of course, one is telephoto, one is an ultra wide. This is capable of capturing 4K at 120, which is impressive. Overall, the entire feature set of this phone is really, really nice. And this certainly is not a device for everyone. It's really for, again, the Sony camera enthusiast, pro shooter that wants that design language, look, and feel brought to a handset. And that's exactly what you're looking at here. Now, let's see if I can power this on. We'll see if we actually have a charge. And I'll tell you a little bit about the components. First and foremost, we have a 6.5-inch high refresh rate OLED. It is 4K. So if you were wondering if Sony's implementing the same great display from the previous top-of-the-line Xperia phone, they are. And that's already a really good starting point, in my opinion. I mean, once I tried that, I knew it was something I would like to see in an even better device, and that's what this represents to me. Now, the $1,800 price point, I'm not going to justify it, but when you put together everything they've thrown into this device, which is nearly the capability, and in some ways more capability than an RX100, but granted only 12 of the 20 megapixels of that 1-inch sensor, and then the fact that you are getting a top-of-the-line flagship phone, I think that's where the $1,800 price point comes from. So, stunning display, fantastic build quality. We have an 8 megapixel selfie cam right there, which Sony's designed a whole system to avoid, interestingly enough, at least for video vlogging, but of course can be used for still shooting as well, which I'll get to. It's in the background. Beyond that OLED, of course, just some of the nicest design, I think, out there right now. The design language is just excellent. By the way, this is Corning Victus Gorilla Glass, for those of you wondering. Type-C charging, what I believe comes with a 30-watt charger, which should get this thing charged up in roughly an hour. And this review unit is not as it would come in retail packaging, for those of you that are wondering. We have a 0.5 terabyte of internal storage, a Qualcomm Snapdragon 888 CPU complemented by 12 gigs of RAM. So this is about as beefy, if not the most powerful phone Sony has ever aimed at consumers, to my knowledge, when it comes to really trying to check every box. And of course, the star of the show is that guy right there, because it really is going to give you the look and feel of carrying around a dedicated camera in the body of this phone. So you have a shutter button there, fingerprint scanner, your power button, volume rocker, I believe, and that is what it is. And the beauty of this is that, Sony is not really trying to skin this heavily. It's in many ways what I expect to be very similar to experiencing a standard, a Pixel-esque experience, but Sony's still making it their own. I love this matte back on the device. It really does incorporate everything you could possibly want. And this is an unlocked device. It'll work with any carrier. I should be able to open this with my fingernail. That's another thing I really like about this device. And did I mention, as I'm struggling, even though I was able to open it with my fingernail, did I mention that this device has a headphone jack? It does. So if you've been wondering where the top of the line flagship Android devices are that have everything, including what arguably could be the best camera on the market, it's right here. And as you can see, SIM card slot right there, or tray, I should say. I love that you do not need a tool. You have a lanyard. After all, this is really a camera, isn't it, as well? So just a really cool device. It has stereo speakers, so we'll see what the quality is like on that. But just a really well-made and, I think, symbol of the maturation of Sony's DI and, of course, Xperia departments coming together to make what should be one of the most impressive phones that Sony has ever launched. And again, at $1,800, it better be. But if you combine a great display, what should be great audio performance, great processor, again, really a copious amount of RAM there, and 512 gigs of internal storage, it should amount to a pretty amazing device. Now, what you need to know. The other cameras that I was mentioning here on the back, and remember they're all 12 megapixel, essentially the main camera, that guy right there, you're looking, the variable aperture on that is f2 to f4, and in addition to that, the other two, are going to give you more typical, but yet, from what I've read, better performance than a lot of other manufacturers when it comes to their wide angle and telephoto. Also, this isn't going to overdress night photos like a lot of computational driven experiences. Some of you may like that, some of you may hate it. The also really interesting thing, and I'll get through the software in my update on this, is that it's going to give you the Pro modes, specifically the new Pro video mode. So we'll see what that's like. Now, the stuff in the background is the vlogging kit. And if you actually purchase the vlog monitor and the grip, which is something I already own and use on a regular basis because it's just really convenient, does the job, this whole kit is going to set you back a little over $2,000. I believe it's discounted now. And I know that sounds insane, but if you humor me for a moment and think of this as something you would potentially take with you on a trip, and you wouldn't bring a camera with you, or if you just knew that this was something you would use out and about, then potentially I think it's really easy to see how this really is very expensive, but also kind of makes sense. So here is the mount you're going to use for the actual monitor, the vlog monitor, and it will all sit on the Bluetooth shooting grip. And then essentially all we have in here is the actual monitor itself, as well as a cable to connect it, to my knowledge. So let's go ahead, open this up. And it's just, who else is doing stuff like this? That's what I'm going to say to you right now. Is there any other manufacturer doing this? And you might say, well, there isn't, but who really needs it? Well, clearly Sony has done the marketing research and has come to the conclusion that Sony users are interested in this. So while it's not the flagship for mass consumption, like a Galaxy device, the argument can be made that there is still a solid segment of users out there that would like something like this. I'm one of them. If I didn't have a Z Fold 3, I probably would be drawn to this instantly and pick it up. So, and that's just because it's so dynamic. Now, would I pick up all of the accessories? I don't know. But the idea is fairly simple. You mount this little essentially camera monitor, which is adorable and pretty smart, even though some people might look at this like a lot of stuff to carry. You just mount it onto this guy, and then once you have it mounted on the grip, you can even throw on, with this hot shoe, a shotgun mic and have everything on board. So just to give you an idea of what that's going to look like, I could really just be spinning it here. You're going to see, if I'm threading this correctly, or at least I thought I was. There we go. You're going to see what this setup potentially can look like. So, you've got to adjust that onto there, which is not a big deal. It's just a matter of getting it on. And then once you do, because this is adjustable, and then once you have it set, the phone, essentially all you're going to be doing is mounting this so that you have a clear shot of yourself. Actually, I think I have this inverted quite possibly. So yeah, this is the phone grip. See, this is me at my finest here. So it appears this is the phone grip, right? I'm just looking at the image. I haven't looked at any instructions or videos about this. and it looks like the monitor, so I'm correcting myself now, is going to mount right there, and it's totally magnetic. So forget what I was doing before. That's how the setup works, and it's just a matter of, hold on, I'm taking this off camera for a moment, getting the camera grip on there, and then boom, you've got this totally rigged out. And that's the whole setup right there. So pretty cool. And of course, you would want to have this turn the other way so that you actually have control of essentially all of the shooting buttons, still, video, and you're good to go. And then if you want to drop any sort of microphone on the top, you're set. I mean, it's pretty amazing. And yes, you will have to run a cable here. As you may have noticed, we have input, power, and a microphone port right there. That's how you're going to support that shotgun mic. But that's pretty much it. I mean, a very cool setup, to say the least. And then, you know, whenever you want to just be able to put it down, you have that ability using this, that you can just drop it and you're good to go. You want to film yourself. I mean, I don't know how much you're going to be filming yourself, but if you are, that's what the vlog kit obviously is designed for. And again, the included charger, I appreciate that Sony went this route, because too many manufacturers have just essentially waved their hands and said, you know, we're not going to bother with high-speed charging. Now, this one is actually 18 watts, but I was under the impression 30 watts is what we were seeing. So again, if I'm incorrect on that, I'm incorrect. This is only an unboxing. We will get to a full review. No worries about that. Any questions or comments about the Xperia Pro I? Please feel free to post them. Hit that like button. And as usual, please feel free to subscribe and please stay safe. Later.